And we should remember that we are honoring and remember Lincoln because, of course, he won the American Civil War. An event that I think is arguably not foreordained in 1861. I would argue that there were times and opportunities when the war might have been lost. And if the war had been lost, would we be talking about Lincoln as one of our greatest leaders? The answer, of course, is no, although he would have been the same man that he was when he was killed. So, of course, history and circumstances play a role in how we evaluate our leaders. But I believe Lincoln was a great leader, and I believe it's not an accident that the Union triumphed. I believe, in fact, that it had a great deal to do with decisions that Lincoln himself made. There are three key kind of topics that I'm going to talk about today where I think are the secrets of Lincoln's success, many of which were previewed, or I previewed them on the webpage if you checked those out. The first is that I believe Lincoln was a superior politician, able to read the public mood keenly, able to hold together a diverse coalition of New England radicals, lower North moderates, and upper South conservatives in a unionist coalition. He did so delicately and I think uncannily at different points throughout the war. Second would be Lincoln's ability to grow as a leader during the war itself. Lincoln, and I was talking to Carolyn Wood before, I think of all the books written on Lincoln, relatively few focus on Lincoln's mistakes. But he made a number of big mistakes during his time as president. It's not unusual that a president makes mistakes. I think what's unusual about Lincoln is that he grew and learned from his mistakes, admitted he was wrong, changed course, and the growth of Abraham Lincoln as a leader during the Civil War is simply fantastic. And so I will talk about his humility, his ability to learn from his mistakes, to face his mistakes. There's also his ability to work with those who criticized him, all of which I think goes together because he was very focused, not on his own ego, but on the objective at hand, which is winning the Civil War. The third, and I would argue most important of the secrets of his success, and the one that he's probably most famous for, is his ability to communicate. In a time of war, probably no trait of a president is more important than effective communication to the people. There is now an emerging consensus about Franklin Roosevelt that says that Franklin Roosevelt's greatest quality as a leader was communication, right? Restoring hope to the American people. His policies are and probably will be debated as to how successful they were at pulling us out of the Great Depression. It's pretty much incontrovertible that it took World War II to finally end the Great Depression. But historians on both sides of the political spectrum pretty much agree that Roosevelt kept the country at a very difficult point in its history from collapsing even further, restoring faith and optimism in the future. That is, I think, the key quality of a great leader, especially a leader of a democratic country, of course. And so we will focus and will end on Lincoln's communication, which I think is probably unparalleled in American history. A man who, of course, wrote his own speeches, had an ability to be poetic, earthy, to talk to ordinary people, to talk to secretaries of state, diplomats, quite an amazing individual. And so we will end